What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 107, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, aka The Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Physical Copy, Ethan. How you doing, buddy?
Kevin, I'm doing good. It's been a busy week. It feels like the closer I get to December when I'm about to move, the busier it gets. It's like my college professors and my advisors know that I'm going through a massive life-changing situation, so they just don't respond to my emails. And they just leave me in the dark on everything, and I absolutely love it, Kevin. But I'm getting through it. I'm good. I got video games to keep me company.
Who needs a college degree when you have an Xbox?
Yeah, I
Right?
don't need a degree.
That's
No.
right. Well, I'm doing all right. I have a bit of a sore throat right now. I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I'm trying. The amount of vitamin C supplements I've pounded today, cough drops, like my body is 90% vitamin
Fortified.
C, fortified. So I'm trying to heal up because I got Extra Life next weekend, which we're
Yep.
going to talk about in a second.
Oh
But
yeah.
really trying to get through. A little fatigued, haven't been able to go to the gym. That it just throws your whole week off, right?
Yeah.
But I'm excited to be here to talk some Xbox news because we have a ton to talk about today.
Finally.
So remember, guys, if you like the podcast, we're live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post Friday morning on all of your favorite podcast services. So while you're over there, please drop us a rating, drop us a review, whether that's Apple, Spotify. We appreciate all of them. We need it for the algorithm, and we will read 5-star reviews live on the show. If you want to interact with us more, please come and join the Discord like so many of you seem to be doing lately. We appreciate it so much. Happy to have more people coming in, chatting games, chatting movies, chatting food. There's a big discussion whether mint belongs in food
Yeah,
going on right
speaking
now.
of that, real quick, I just have a quick breaking news update. Lee Navarro, I made a request that he put mint on all the pizza that's going to be on Extra Life just for
Oh,
you, and he said we
oh,
will take it into consideration. So
oh
hopefully that
no.
gets resolved and we get mint on all of your pizza.
No, mint doesn't belong in food. But speaking of Extra Life, if you haven't heard, somehow this year we are participating in Extra Life, which is a charity fundraising campaign for sick children. We have teamed up with our friends over at Carpool Gaming and the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast. And this year, our fundraising efforts are dedicated to one of the strongest, bravest kids that we know, Miles. Miles O'Neill, if for anyone not familiar, is Marcus O'Neill's son, great community member. But Miles has Pfeiffer syndrome, a rare genetic disease that mostly affects the development of bones in his head and face. Since birth, he's required several surgeries and regular visits with his team of specialists, from neurosurgeons to respirologists to speech language pathologists and more. Without hospitals like Stollery Children's Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta, which is where we're raising money for, Miles wouldn't get the care he needs to reach his full potential. Everyone at Carpool Gaming, Save the Game Media, and the Trophy Room is rooting for Miles, and we need your help. So please consider donating. You can win some awesome prizes as well. We have a God of War Collector's Edition you can win. We have another God of War Ragnarok Digital Edition you can win. We have a Year of Game Pass Ultimate you can win. You can win over 1,000 Xbox games. So and I'm going to tell you, maybe we have some surprise announcements during the 25-hour live stream to give away.
Ooh.
So if you have not entered, every $10 gets you an entry and goes to help sick children like Miles. Win-win for everyone. You can win, they can win. Everyone wins. So please
Yep.
help us. We are 90, I think it's $93 at the time of this recording away from
Holy crap.
$2,000.
Yeah.
So you guys have smashed it so far. Everyone is doing a great job, but we can push more. All right, we will do things for money during the 25-hour live stream. Like,
Oh
all
yeah,
right,
you will.
okay. So if you would like to support us further, Save the Game Media, and get all of our content early, like No Limits, Frame by Frame, or I Hate My Friends, which I gotta tell you guys, I Hate My Friends might be our most underrated show. If you
It's
if you're
so
not
fun.
if you're not listening, you gotta go listen. That show is hilarious week on week. Head on over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose the tier that's right for you. Like our 14 current patrons have done. So thank you to Bucky Blue Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Aman, SAZ, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, and our newest patron, Marcus O'Neill. Thank you all so much. We appreciate every single one of you. Ethan, finally got housekeeping out of the way. It's getting longer. That Patreon list takes a little bit. All right.
Soon we'll be like the trophy room. It takes them like 5 minutes to get through it. I love it.
Well, we're going to start the show like we do every week, and that's going around the room asking one simple question. That question is, what you been playing?
All right. I've been getting back more into Red Dead Redemption 2. I talked at length about it that episode when I first started playing it. Still amazing, still awesome. I'm in Rhodes right now, which is like Act 2. Getting through all that stuff, so that's still a blast. The new game that I've been playing this last week is New Tales from the Borderlands. This is basically a narrative game. It's mostly just quick time events, dialogue choices, and then a couple scatterings of little exploratory areas that you can walk around in the style of Borderlands, that Gearbox style. And I'm having an absolute blast. The characters are funny. The comedy is really hitting for me. It's just that slapstick kind of Borderlands style comedy that we all love from the series. It's a nice bite-sized, tale about basically a corporate invasion on the planet of Prometheus, and you take control of these three people that one of them's like a scientist for a large corporation, the other one's kind of like a street kid, and the other one is Fran, who is the owner of a froyo shop that gets destroyed, and she's very upset about that. But it's just absolutely hilarious. I have a clip of it real quick that I uploaded to Discord yesterday. And I think it's absolutely hilarious, and it gives you a little snapshot into what the comedy is like here. So sorry for our audio listeners. I'm going to put up a video real quick. It's only about 30 seconds. Let's see.
I know my brother, big Borderlands fan. He was waiting for a sale on this game, so maybe he'll see this.
That's the other thing about this. It's $40. So you have to make that determination. Are you willing to pay $40 for a game that doesn't have a lot of gameplay elements? This is basically a game that you sit back and you kind of just watch a story unfold in front of you. You can even turn off QuickTime events if you just don't even want to
just get narrative
and do dialogue choices. But I prefer to have the QuickTime events on because it gives me something to do.
Before you play the clip, Ghostly March in the chat. Do you know if it takes place after Borderlands 3?
I have no idea where this sits in the Borderlands lore. I'm not that deep into it, and I didn't play any of the original Tales of the Borderlands, so I don't know where they fit either. So I would have to look that up. But here's a quick snapshot of what the comedy is like, and this tickled me pink when I first saw it.
Not hearing anything.
You're not hearing anything?
No. Did you make sure to share the Chrome? You shared a clip.
It's on a Discord. I'm playing it through Discord. Oh, well, maybe I can't do it. If you're in our Discord, go to general chat. It's pretty recent. It's absolutely hilarious.
And Google tells me that it takes place shortly after Borderlands 3, and Sam in the chat backs it up, says it does take place after both Borderlands 3 and the OG Tales from the Borderlands.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah.
So, liking that so far? Well worth your $40?
$40. Again, not a lot of gameplay. I'm loving the story and the comedy though, so I can't say it wasn't worth it because I'm on the couch, I'm laughing my ass off, having a good time. So, it's entertaining, and I'm glad that I got it.
All right. I noticed you were on Horizon a bit this week.
Was I?
A little bit. Apparently not enough for you to. Have you dropped Horizon Zero Dawn?
Oh, Horizon Zero. I thought you were talking about Forza Horizon.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn a little bit. It was more so like, damn, I haven't turned on my PS5 in like a month, and I spent like $600 something on it. So I think I'm gonna turn it on and play a little bit. I do want to get through Zero Dawn though before Ragnarok comes out. So after Ragnarok, I can play Forbidden West. So that's my goal. So I got to kind of crunch down on that.
You can get through the story in 11 hours if you really just mainline it.
There's so much to do. The map's really not that big in Zero Dawn. Like I looked at, and not counting the expansion adds another big area, and I think my version came with the expansion that's on PlayStation Plus. Yeah. But still, it's not a big map, and I've already done like 60% of everything on the map. There's there's like bandit camps that you can liberate. There's corrupted machine areas that you got to go and kind of defeat the corrupted machines. I've pretty much discovered all of the machines in the game, which surprised me how quickly I did that.
Yeah, there's
I
not
thought
that
there was going to be a
many.
lot more, but still having a blast with it. Still loving the combat mechanics. Facial animations, of course, are a little silly, but yeah, it's a good time.
I was hoping you'd come over to my team.
No, I will never be on your team, Kevin.
All right.
Never.
All right. Well, I just have I've been playing 3 things. I can only talk about 2 of them though. Ooh, what's he playing? You can't talk about. Ooh. You'll find out next week. That's all I can say. But I have been playing more A Plague Tale Requiem. I have gotten all of the achievements except one, and I'm annoyed
What is it?
because it's the secret chests one. And you
Oh,
want
right.
to know what's annoying is you have to get all 10 on the same save file. So even though I opened 7 originally on my run, the 3 I opened in New Game Plus, which were the
That
3 I was missing,
sucks.
don't count. So I have to go back to chapter select on my original save, hope I have a knife. If not, I'm gonna have to go back to a spot where there's a knife and then replay through
So
and
that's
open them.
strange because all the other collectibles in Requiem
Carry
do
over.
carry over, right? So secret chests not the same.
No.
Wow.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating
That's
experience.
well, luckily for you, there's a guy that works over at IGN. His name's Sam Heaney. He created a guide, Kevin. Him and a team of people created a guide that tells you where all the knives and the secret chests are. So you might be able to get through that pretty quickly.
Yeah. I've been using I was using a guide for the collectibles, so
Yeah.
it's fine. I'll knock it out at some point when I feel like going back to chapter select and
You
doing
must
that.
really like this game to do that because if I had that problem, I'm like, I'm never playing this game for the rest of my
I'm
life.
one achievement away.
Even if
though.
you're one
done,
away, I'm
I've
done.
done everything else. At that point, I'm like, I'm just gonna sacrifice an hour or 2 of my life and like go knock this out.
Well, that'll be your third playthrough, right? If you have to create a new save.
Well, I can't create. No, I would have to go back to my original save. I can't make
Oh, I see.
I'm not making a new save and playing through all like game
Well,
again.
hopefully there's some knives that you can find in the general area you're in.
Yeah. That would be frustrating if not, because everything
Yeah.
else, I love that game so much. It's fantastic, and
Mhm.
our review is up now. It's me, Sam, and Ethan talking about A Plague Tale Requiem. If you haven't checked that out, go. The first half of the video is spoiler free. Then
Mhm.
we go into spoilers. So if you're worried, we do give you a warning when we switch over to spoilers. So the other game I want to talk about, Ethan, Gotham Knights.
Yes, talk to me about this.
I don't understand how this game got the reviews it's gotten. Because
Really?
it is nowhere near as bad as the reviews suggest it to be. Is it technically a broken mess sometimes? Absolutely. The game cannot hold 30 FPS. Like
Right.
it's is incredibly poorly optimized. In terms of glitches, I had one where I used my grappling hook and ended up inside a building that I wasn't supposed to be in. Like
Love it.
it was just the square.
That's old school no clipping,
Yeah.
speed running strats. You love it.
I got out real quick. I just had to grappling hook away. But the other one was during a cutscene. Jason Todd was wearing a hoodie, and his strings, instead of laying on the hoodie,
Oh, I saw that
pointed
online.
straight out 90 degrees like antennas, and I was laughing my
I saw
butt
that
off.
online. That's so funny that you got that glitch.
But
Because
like
it was like during a serious moment, right? And he just turns around with a serious look on his face and they're just poking out.
nothing. I've been playing the whole game co-op with my brother, and it's been an absolute blast. This game is so much fun to play. Wandering around Gotham City, because you don't have to stay near each other. Like he can be in one side of the map, I can be the other. Like we can knock out different missions at the
Oh,
same
that's
time
pretty
if we're
cool.
just trying to get some XP. We could go off and do our own things, because even when you're playing co-op, each character has their own like storyline. Like it'll show you a Nightwing symbol. That means I can go advance Dick Grayson's story. It'll show a Batgirl. That's Barbara Gordon's. And then everyone else has, but I've only played as Nightwing, and he's only played as Batgirl. So you can still advance. You could do every mission together, which is great. So it doesn't. There are weird inconsistencies I've noticed. Like as host, I have to access like some of the prompts, like to advance. Sometimes it'll show both of us. Sometimes it'll show just me. Sometimes it'll show him for no reason. I'm like, who designed this game, and why is it so inconsistent about like whether they recognize you're in co-op or not. It's very weird
Right.
for the loadings. Like, and let me tell you, there's tons of hidden loading screens. The amount of like door opening, and
Yeah.
this is I understand this is a next gen only game. This game was made for last gen, and they just don't know how to optimize games, and it
Hmm.
could not get it to run on that. I guarantee you, because
Yikes.
this game doesn't run well on a Series X. So
Yeah.
I will say, Nightwing, tons of fun. I love flipping around, beating up the like. I love the animations. The 30 FPS doesn't bother me that much. Like, I get over it very quickly. Batgirl, completely broken. There's a lot of stealth elements in this game. Like, they want you to do a lot of sneaking around and silent takedowns. And Batgirl, a lot of her skill tree, it has the ability to like turn off cameras, turn off laser grids that would detect you, or she just has the ability where she doesn't get detected. So my brother will just run through everything, and then he'll be like, "Have fun, figure it out." Just it breaks the game at certain points in co-op, which is part of the charm for me. I love when you play together with other people and you can find like exploits and break the game in ways it's not
Like how you
intended to
did to
be played.
Nobody Saves the World.
Like how I did it. Nobody saves the world. Yes, yes, yes. I think it's a lot of fun. Is it a good game from a technical standpoint? No.
Yeah.
Like I said, poorly optimized, but it is a ton of fun. If I had paid $70 for it, which shout out to Luke Lore who gifted me the copy, I would have felt like it was worth my money. Out of the amount of,
Really?
yes, I would have paid $70 and been happy for this. What I got, my experience so far has been very positive.
So there's two things I want to talk to you a little bit about Gotham Knights, and these are the two things that sort of completely shut me down from wanting to get this game. Two things that I saw consistently across different reviewers is the first point that the open world felt empty and that what was in the open world felt repetitive. So could you speak on the open world and how is it?
I think those are fair criticisms
Hmm.
because there are civilians on the streets and you'll see cops. It's not a incredibly vibrant, but you do go out at night. You can't go out during the day. So every patrol is at night. So I wouldn't really expect the streets to be flooded with people if you're going out at night all the time.
Well, in a
You
city based off of New York City. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
you do see a lot of repetitive like even the little crimes. Like you'll see, oh, they're getting mugged by the same three goons. You see a lot of assets reused. Like that character model looks exactly the same as that character model.
To
The
be fair, they kind of did that in
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2018 too, and that's fun to me. So
Ghostly March. Gotham's a
it
shithole of
really
a
is. It's a
city.
dump. I don't know.
There will
Gotham's
be
an awful
times where
place.
I'm just going through and you just hear gunfire. I'm like, why would anyone live here? Um, no, so the actual missions you can do at night. You have your main mission, and then you have like the side objectives that like they're side quests. It's basically just like how can you farm experience? Like go do this mission, go over here. Those do get repetitive. You say the same type. You have like bomb threats where you go and you have to disarm bombs. You have like a bank heist. You have to go stop a bank heist. Like there are those repetitive missions that you're going to see like every single night repeating over and over again. There isn't much variety there. I don't ever get bored of them because it is very much like you hop in, 3 minutes later you're done, you can go on to the next one. It's just to get like materials for your crafting system and farm XP.
And I think a thing that's helping you too is that you are playing with somebody. I'm sure
Absolutely.
playing alone, just doing the same sort of, beat 'em up little battle over and over again, it would probably get old very quickly, but you can
Hmm.
actually just talk to your brother, do different things to try and do combos and break the game. So,
Yeah.
but the second thing I wanted to talk about is traversal of the different characters because I read a lot about how there are some characters that are just it sucks to traverse with them. It's slow, it's boring, it doesn't really fit into the game. Like, who's the one that has the teleportation? Is that Robin? Or
I thought it was
no,
Red
Robin has the
Hood.
Red Hood has the teleportation. I saw gameplay of that and it just looked ridiculous and dumb. And then also there were reports, this is a real thing, that you had to unlock some traversal methods for some of the characters. Like, for example, Batgirl, you couldn't immediately get the bat wings starting off. You had to unlock those.
You
So
you do
what's
have
up with
to
that? Do you
you
care
do
about
have
that or
no, so you do have to unlock everyone's like you automatically get the bat cycle, which allows you to like go through the cities. If you want to do like the glider, then you do have to do one activity.
Oh,
Ooh, it's
okay. So it's not
massively
okay.
overblown. The fact, like, I literally, well, like, how do I unlock Nightwing's glider? Oh, I have to go do this one basic training
And it
activity.
tells you
Yes,
off rip, like,
it
this is
tells
what you gotta
you
do.
go do this, and then you're gonna
Okay.
get it. So you immediately go do it. I can't speak to how Jason or Robin move throughout the city because I've only played Nightwing. I will say Nightwing's glider is awesome because I
Yeah.
can go up and down in any direction at any point.
Yeah, that one seemed like the best one from what I
Batgirl, I
saw.
know from what I've seen, Kyle, my brother, he can only glide like downward, so he has to
Right.
start high. He can't like go up. So there
Mhm.
are times like he'll be ahead of me, and I'm just objectively faster than he
Yeah.
is on my. So there is that. I don't. It's so overblown. Like I don't understand why
Okay.
anyone was complaining about that. That is not a complaint for me because it takes 5 seconds to remedy
Good.
it. And
Alright, that's good to know.
but yeah, that game's fun. I'm having a good time. I'll probably wrap it up after the show. I think we're at the last mission. I will
Oh,
say,
so quick game,
um,
or have you just been
I've
playing a
played a
lot?
lot. I've played a lot of it. Yeah, I don't know about a quick game.
You're no life in this?
Well, in between playing some other stuff, but
Okay, yeah.
I would say, as a Batman fan, I think they do a good job with the writing for Barbara, Batgirl, and Dick, Nightwing, but I don't think Jason and Tim. From what I know, this is not the Red Hood that like is. He's so weird in this game. He is very like he's like a meathead Robin. He doesn't sound like he's like isn't Red Hood supposed to be like a badass like shooting
Yeah.
like he's
Supposed to be
so
like their Deadpool for
not
DC,
at all,
basically.
not at all. Like,
Yeah.
he is lame, and Tim Drake is the most annoying little boy I have. He is
Boy.
in every cutscene. He just walks up, headphones around his neck,
Uh-huh.
and just complains and whines about I miss Bruce. Bro, shut
Oh,
up!
no.
My God, like I hate him. I hate him so much. Like he's never been my favorite Robin, but I cannot stand him in this game. So. Cheveruni in the chat says this is why you shouldn't really trust game scores. Bad score, but
Yeah.
still having fun.
Yeah.
For sure. I would agree with that. And like I mean, I said Monarch was one of my games of the year so far. That had a 66. So
Yeah.
review scores don't mean nothing to me.
Yeah, and Elden Ring's like a 90,000, and you won't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
That's true. I won a $150 Xbox gift card, and I'm not spending it on
You
Elden
got
Ring.
it. You got it, Kevin.
No,
Elden Ring, let's
not
go.
gonna do it. No, no.
I'll jump in and help you.
That will end what you've been playing. Shout out to Mav in the chat. Fun speculation for stopping by. And Happy Cloud Gamer. Nice to see you guys as always. But Ethan, grab a seat or stay in your seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. And let me tell you, it's a jam-packed news week. So Phil Spencer spoke recently at the Wall Street Journal's Tech Live conference, and I believe it was yesterday. And we have quite a few interesting pieces of information from his speech, which was called Beyond Xbox, the future of video games at Microsoft. So we're going to go break this down because if I give you everything at once, it's way too overwhelming. So first, I want to speak about Call of Duty because Phil said on the Call of Duty Activision deal, quote, Call of Duty specifically will be available on PlayStation. I'd love to see it on the Switch. I'd love to see the game playable on many different screens. Our intent is to treat Call of Duty like Minecraft. This opportunity is really about mobile for us. When you think about 3 billion people playing video games, there's only about 200 million households on console. That's just an excerpt, probably the most important thing he said during that part of the show. But kind of goes against some of the rhetoric we've been hearing. You know, it's gone from it's going to be multi-plat now
Yeah.
to it's going to be multi-plat for only a few years to, well, maybe we'll take it off altogether after a certain point. And now he's saying we're going to treat it like Minecraft, which we know Minecraft is still on everything, still gets updates. All new Minecraft games comes to everything. So Ethan, I want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, it seems like anytime somebody opens their mouth that's involved in this deal, we get a different report of what is going to happen with Call of Duty. I think at this point we just got to throw our hands in the air and say, we'll see what happens. Because the first thing when I read that they're going to treat Call of Duty like Minecraft, I'm like, okay, so they're going to keep it multi-platform for the rest of history, right? Minecraft's not going anywhere. It's going to stay on PlayStation. It's staying on PC and staying on Xbox. And yeah, I don't know, because the first thing that I thought of was Phil Ryan not too long ago just said Xbox approached us with a 3-year deal, and that wasn't enough. Yeah, Jim Ryan approached us. Phil Ryan, the super soldier. He approached us with a 3-year deal. I'm like, okay, well, that's not indefinite. That's not forever. There's obviously a time frame to that. And I'm wondering if Xbox is sort of going to kind of shop Call of Duty out, and just consistently update contracts and be like, okay, 3-year contract, and then they're going to reapproach them once that's up and be like, okay, we're going to keep it for another 5 years just to keep, things fresh. I don't know. I don't know at this point. I think at this point we really do just got to wait until Call of Duty, the IP, is in Microsoft's hands, and we all wait with bated breath to see what they do. I think right now the only thing we can say for certainty is that Call of Duty is going to be on Game Pass. I think that's really the only thing at this point that everybody in the world is like, yeah, that's what's going to be the future, is Xbox on Game Pass. So I don't know. He could be just lying to our faces at this point.
I find it first of all, they've kind of reiterated over and over again, like we want Call of Duty on PlayStation. I've very much taken the approach of, we heard about Jim coming out with the contracts and everything, saying, well, they only offered this long. And we, at that point, we're like, okay, maybe they have a strategy to take it off consoles for next generation. Maybe they'll just reissue another deal at the end of that, because if they're making money, that's really all they care about.
They're going to make money. There's no question on it.
I know everyone is thinks that these two care about the console war. They literally only care about making money for their brands. That is their job, and they will do whatever is best to do that. So I have no reason, as Mav said in the chat, gotta believe in Phil. I have no reason to doubt that Phil Spencer is being disingenuous here, because the example he gives is very specific. He could have said something like, we're going to treat the deal like Bethesda games, like some will stay, some won't. He specifically said, we're going to treat Call of Duty like Minecraft. And to me, that's a very clear message of, it's going to remain on everything equally forever. And we shouldn't say forever in terms of like things can always change, like Phil leaves and then what, but like in terms of any immediate future, because it's been over a decade, right? Since they bought, about a decade since they bought Mojang, and Minecraft is still pumping things out. So I don't see a world where Call of Duty leaves PlayStation. I think if anything, they really are okay with that, especially if it gets the deal over the line, because they want to appease the CMA, who is taking a very weird stance now, asking for public opinion on this deal, which I can only imagine their email box.
Toxic.
The amount of emails that they're getting would be crazy. It's for me, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think this is the most definitive he's been about saying this, where and I want to note, he only specified Call of Duty. I still think this deal will bring exclusives. Like, any new IPs will be Xbox exclusive, I imagine, unless they're live service. Then I can imagine they want them everywhere. And I still do think that some previous Activision Blizzard single player games, like maybe Crash and Spyro, will be Xbox going forward.
Since day one, I've always said, I hope that they keep Call of Duty on every platform and even possibly expand it, like you said, to the Nintendo market, because Call of Duty lives and dies by its player base. The more people you have in that ecosystem, the more revenue you're generating, and the more fun it is for players, because you have a wider audience that you can actually play the game with. Call of Duty is a game that deserves to be on all consoles, in my opinion. And I hope this is his final statement. I hope this is like, yep, we're going to treat it like Minecraft. We're keeping it on everything. I have a feeling, though, in 3 months, somebody else is going to open their mouth and it's going to completely blow that story out of the water. And it's going to be like, now we don't know again. So, like I said, at this point, there's no way to tell.
3 months. I'm giving it 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We're bringing this back up.
Then Phil Ryan's going to come out and be like, look at this paperwork. They literally said they're not going to put it or something. I don't know. Who the hell knows?
Mav in the chat, don't shoot me, but Halo would also benefit from being on PlayStation.
I mean, any first-person shooter or live service game, for that matter, would benefit from being multi-plat. Absolutely, but I mean, Halo is like that's Xbox's property. You know, that's
here's what I'm gonna say. If they put the Halo multiplayer on PlayStation, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, I'd be okay with it. I'm just saying,
the single
Xbox as a
player,
company.
keep the single player
Yeah.
exclusive because they are two different things.
Yeah,
Keep the single player exclusive to Xbox and PC.
I mean, me personally, yeah, I wouldn't care if they did it because I have both consoles and I'm gonna play on Xbox regardless. But I mean, I think Xbox, that's like a core IP to Xbox. You can't, they're not gonna want to get rid of it. That's like PlayStation giving us God of War. Like it's just, it's not gonna happen. So
I think we'll continue to see games break down. But like if Phil was like Kevin, all right, we're gonna make a new Banjo-Kazooie game, but it's gotta be multi-platform. Like we gotta give it to the Switch. I'd be like, Phil, that sounds great. I'll buy 6 copies.
Awesome. I'll buy a copy on every system I own.
Yeah. I need a collection. When does it come out?
I'll buy a Steam Deck so I can play it on it.
It does go back to if Xbox gamers are getting the game on Game Pass, why do we care where it is?
Right.
Yeah. So I think this is a very definitive statement from Phil. Glad we can put it to bed for now.
Don't say that we can put anything to bed.
All right. Well, we can move on to the second part of his speech because he talked about something we talked about last week, which was the Xbox mobile store. And he said, quote, if you take a long-term bet that we will be able to get access to players on Android and iOS, we want to be in position with a storefront to take advantage of it. This comes after we see a bunch of new kind of what's the backbone, and then they have the the Rikishi, right? They have a bunch.
That's an old
the Rikishi. That's what they yeah, I do that all the time.
Stink face.
No, they just promoted a bunch of new accessories for like tablets and phones for mobile gaming. So I think that's what prompted this question. And Phil seems to very much say like, yeah, what you've heard is we're definitely going to make a mobile store in the future.
I mean, again, like I said last week, I don't know what you're going to do to incentivize people to leave either the App Store or Google Play, because that's just so burned into the brains of everyone that uses mobile and gets apps. I mean, I don't see what Xbox could offer to sway people away from it. And then two, I don't know how Apple or any of the Android device makers are going, or Android is going to appreciate having Xbox pull games like probably Call of Duty Mobile out of their stores and moving it into their own. I mean, like I said last week, we have the Epic Games and store and the Apple lawsuit that's been going on what seems like forever. I don't even know if it's been resolved yet. This is just opening up Xbox to a lawsuit. I guarantee you it's going to happen, and we're going to be reporting on that soon whenever they decide to roll out this mobile store. But again, mobile gaming, couldn't care less about this. They can do whatever they want on the mobile front as long as it doesn't mess with the resources dedicated to making good console video games and making fun video games.
And Phil talked about that in this speech where they asked like why Xbox doesn't have a mobile presence already, and it's because he very specifically stated that mobile developers are different than AAA developers.
Right.
They make different types of game. They excel in different areas. So people that are making those types of games don't want to make mobile games, and probably vice versa. It is a very different art style, or art form, I should say, not style, art form compared to what they do at the Xbox studios right now. So we talked at length about this last week. If you missed the discussion, you can go check the previous episode about the Xbox mobile store, but I imagine it's coming. I don't imagine it's going to be very successful is where I'm at.
No, I don't either.
Another update from what we talked about, I want to say 2 weeks ago, unless it was last week and I'm getting confused. Time's a circle. Phil was asked about Project Keystone, which, as we know, in the most recent photo that he shared celebrating Fallout, he had a little prototype. So when asked, he said, quote, Keystone was something that we were incubating internally. Late spring, we pivoted to working with Samsung. I still have the prototype. Will we do a streaming device at some point? I expect we will, but it's years away.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I'm really it honestly surprised me to hear that a streaming device of some sort is years away. I think the entire community's consensus has been like, oh, this is coming very shortly in the next coming months. Like they're going to release a streaming stick or a streaming box or whatever have you. You can plug into any TV and fire up Xbox Cloud Gaming through Game Pass. Really surprising that they're not going that route for years, apparently. I guess they're just going to focus on building apps on TVs, smart TVs, other smart devices, build those relationships with different TV manufacturers. But fine. Again, it's something I'm not going to use. I'm not a cloud gamer. That's not something I do. I have the Series X. There's not really a reason for me to get something like this. So I'm not heartbroken over it. But yeah.
It's very weird to me though that they put that prototype they've put that photo out knowing damn well everyone would see the prototype, and then the speculation would run wild. And I think I said even Game Awards or in the next coming months
Yeah.
that we would see
I
an
think all of
official
us
reveal.
agreed Game Awards was probably going to be when we saw something.
The podcast community was talking about pricing. We're like 100, 150.
Yeah.
Like we're already out there talking about
Yep.
like how much is it going to cost? When does it come out? And now Phil's out here saying, "Well, slow your roll. Like we're not coming out with that for a
Yeah.
couple of years at least," which is crazy to me because maybe they're waiting for cloud technology to improve more. I think
Possibly. Yeah.
xCloud is a good example of how to do it well.
Yeah.
Maybe they also decide that TVs would be a better starting point instead of asking people to buy a specific device. Maybe they're just going to, like you said, go to more TV manufacturers, go to your TCLs, your low budget TVs, get the apps there first.
Yep.
Then when people experience those apps on TV, because it's much easier to have an app automatically installed, they'd be like, what's that? Click on that, realize how awesome it is. Maybe they're like, oh, you know what? They sell like a little device and then I could bring it where I travel, go to other people's houses. I think that is a much easier sell than just immediately coming out with a new product.
I'm also wondering too, just spitballing here, if they might want to wait to market it alongside the mid-gen refresh of the consoles. I think we talked about that breaking news last week that some developers had dev kits in their hands for mid-gen refreshes from PlayStation and Xbox.
That's not true.
But I mean, if you're going to come out with a mid-gen refresh, I mean, obviously it's going to be a very expensive console. Most people are going to be like, why the hell would I buy this? The Xbox Series X and the PS5 are already insanely powerful. There's no reason to do a mid-gen refresh, I don't think, for a while. But then alongside the marketing for a mid-gen refresh, you have this $100, $150 streaming box that's like, hey, if this is not what you want, then we got this for you, and you can just plug it into your TV and play some cloud gaming. Offer that cheap alternative because they're not going to do a mid-gen refresh, I don't think, of the Series S, right? Like they did do the Xbox One. No, they didn't do a mid-gen refresh for the Xbox One S, did they?
No. They just had the One X, and it would be interesting if they can't get rid of the Series S, because this is where I get. First of all, I don't want mid-gen refreshes. I don't think they're necessary this generation, especially with the pandemic and the supply constraints. I don't think it would be a good look for either manufacturer, Sony or Xbox, to do this.
Right.
For me, I do think putting it out alongside new consoles does make sense. So for me, I'm like, maybe we just wait until the next generation, and
That's
then
a
we put
very
them out
long.
there.
I have a feeling this generation's probably going to last longer than previous ones, and I think they would want to get ahead of because Xbox for the whole time, their whole thing with cloud gaming is they've wanted to be on the cutting edge of this technology, and they've wanted to be offering these services that nobody else is doing. They absolutely want to be the first ones to put out in terms of the major console manufacturers. I know Stadia obviously did something, Luna's doing stuff, but they want to be the first in terms of major console manufacturers to put out a dedicated streaming device. So I feel like if they wait that long, then they got to have good information to know that PlayStation isn't going to work on anything dealing with like cloud streaming or anything. So I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of questions that remain to be answered about this.
Sam in the chat says better that they wait for cloud streaming and 4/5G to be mainstream, then release Keystone now and have it die a painful death. I think that's
Yeah.
a fair point.
It is.
That was gonna. It was kind of going into my next point where I think going the TV route right now and getting that adoption in, it's gonna take years for people to kind of learn, like word of mouth spread that hey, Xbox has this sweet app. You don't need consoles anymore, and then you can release your little keystone device, whatever you want to call it. Happy cloud gamers also. Phil Spencer's trolling us, I think.
Always.
But yeah, he said Xbox Series S will be a good hybrid console for cloud gaming, which very well could be. We could see more cloud. First of all, I think if I was a Series S owner and then I started seeing cloud versions of games like running better than the actual Series S versions of games, I think I would be a little peeved about that. But we talked last week if the Series S was holding consoles back or not. So
it's bunk. Yeah.
Ethan, we can go into the last talking point from this little speech Phil gave, and it's probably the biggest one because it regards price increases. So we've seen Meta increase the price of the Quest 2 and then come out with a $1,500 Quest Pro.
It's not even built for gaming. It's for your office, Kevin.
Yeah, we've seen PlayStation increase their first party from $60 to $70 games. We've seen them increase the price of their consoles everywhere except the US by $50. But could Xbox be following suit? So when asked, Phil said, quote, "We've held price on our console. We've held price on our games and our subscription. I don't think we'll be able to do that forever. I do think at some point we'll have to raise some prices on certain things." Phil then goes on to says it was important to maintain the prices through the holiday season. Phil Spencer also says he doesn't believe subscription revenue will grow dramatically to something like 70% of their revenue. Instead, he says free to play is clearly the most popular business model. Xbox Game Pass, quote, "I think it'll stay on the 15 to 10% overall revenue, and it's profitable for us. We're seeing incredible growth on PC. On console, I've seen growth slow down, mainly because at some point you've reached everyone on console that wants to subscribe." Ethan, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
Yeah.
We could talk price increases. If you what you think is gonna get, and then we could talk about Game Pass growth.
I think it was pretty funny and telling that when we were first talking about this in Discord, I'm like, games are already $70. What are they talking about a price increase? And you had to tell me Xbox first party titles are still $60. I'm like, and then it dawned on me, I haven't bought an Xbox first party title for years because they all come out on Game Pass. So I just don't know what the price is of these games. I see like the deluxe editions being marketed for like 80 something bucks or the ultimate edition for $100. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not going to get those. But I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, it's going to come eventually. It's got to happen. You know, I mean, the rest of the gaming industry has sort of moved on into the $70 price range. Xbox is kind of the last holdout here, which I think is good for them. I think that's a good look. But they're eventually going to have to do $70. I think everybody probably is preparing for that. But like I said, for Game Pass subscribers, it's not going to affect you one bit because you're still just going to get your games day and date on Game Pass. In terms of price increase for Game Pass, I think we've been speculating ever since Game Pass came out, like there's got to be a point where they increase the price, right? Like this value is just completely ridiculous. In the United States, it's what, $14.99 for Ultimate. That's PC Game Pass and console Game Pass and
EA
access to all
Play,
the deals, EA
Cloud.
Play, Cloud, all these benefits. And you're like, I feel like I'm robbing Xbox at this point. Like you're telling me I could just play all the Elder Scrolls and Fallouts right now for $15 a month. Awesome. And I think their strategy probably is going to be to hold out on a price increase near the holidays. They don't want to, you know, say, hey, it's now $20 right before Christmas. That's not a good look. I think the best thing that they're going to do probably is do the price increase when we're close to a major game release, just so you can sell that value to people. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they came out and said, Ultimate's going to be $20 a month, and it's a month before Starfield's about to be released. You know what I mean? Because like, okay, people are going to look at that and be like, I could spend $20 and I'm going to play Starfield. So I feel like they're going to wait until they have a big game release like that. But, I think we all have just waited. We all knew this was coming eventually. Game increase price and Game Pass increasing in price.
So I don't think the price of consoles is going to go up. I don't think
No,
we're going
I
to
don't
see
think.
them. I
Yeah,
don't think we're going to see them
they
match
saw
what
how
PlayStation
bad
did.
of a PR nightmare that was for PlayStation. I mean, there was even a lot of negativity in like the PlayStation community about that. They were
And
pissed about it.
yeah, so I don't think we're going to see that, especially when you see consoles going on sale. Like the Series S has been going on sale a lot, like $50 cheaper than normal.
Yeah.
Um, I I've seen a lot of speculation, but like he's clearly talking about Game Pass. For me, I think he's talking about first party games. I think we're going to see the jump from $60 to $70 for
Yeah.
Xbox first party games. And I don't know if Game Pass will follow. It will eventually, but in the immediate future, game prices will become $70 to match the rest of the industry because we've already seen the backlash basically go away. Like we've all kind of accepted at this point that like, hey, Sony PlayStation first party games are $70. Square Enix 2K, whatever you want, they're all $70. We're the backlash, the conversation is kind of over at that point. We understand games are expensive to make. It's $10 more. Yes, it does suck for those that are still buying games, but it is the inevitable, especially with inflation and the state of the economy. Like it is an inevitable reality that the games are going to go to $70 at some point.
Yeah.
We had the grace period of 2 years now where they've been 60, so they looked good. They got their good PR, and now they can go with their business decision.
Yeah, there's going to be a day where we're spending $100 for a video game. Like it's just going to keep going up as the currency goes up.
In turn, though, I want to make this very clear. Because they say, hey, look at how much, like if Xbox does start pumping out the quality of the games, especially when they raise the prices to $70, they then can be like, hey, look at the absolute steal that Game Pass is. You're getting so many $70 games in this service for $15 a month. We can't really, our profit margins aren't as big as they used to be anymore because nobody's buying the $70 games. They're they're specifically signing up for Game Pass instead. So we got to make some money. So here we're gonna raise it by $1. And then a year or two later, we're gonna raise it by another $1. Like games are we're pushing the boundaries. They're gonna take the Netflix approach. I've said this for a long time. It's not going to stay $15 a month. I do think eventually there's a cutoff point. For me, I think the only thing I would see is the family plan that's coming because we know that's going to be 25.
Right.
Maybe they raise the price of that more than the original one subscription model. There is a whole dichotomy of economics here.
Yeah.
That people are going to have to dissect and figure out like, well, what move makes us look good and what move keeps our value, right?
Exactly.
Like,
and then also the value is really up to each individual that has Game Pass. Like for me, I play so many Game Pass games. The value, like I could spend probably $40 a month on Game Pass and it's still saving me money for the amount of games that I'm playing on it. So it really is up to each individual person what that threshold is of how much you're willing to pay.
Yeah, I've played 81 games now this year, and Game Pass has saved me probably $1,000. So like, I think it's I don't first of all, my brother pays for our Game Pass Ultimate subscription. I pay for our PS Plus premium subscription.
Yeah.
I can tell you in our minds, one of those is much more valuable than the other. And getting way more use than the other.
I just did the quick math, and I know not every game's going to be $60, but 81 times 60, 4,860.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot
That's
of money.
A lot of money for video games, Kevin.
That's a lot of money. Wow. Okay. Thanks for making me feel bad. Not that I bought all those games.
You didn't buy it. If you bought all of them, then I'd be like, you should be ashamed of yourself.
you need help.
Yeah, I need to take your card, man. You can't be doing that.
But I think, Phil, the growth on PC for Game Pass doesn't surprise me, especially because we are going to see more games come to both. Like Starfield's going to be on both. That's going to drive people.
Right.
Redfall's coming. We're seeing titles. We're finally going to start seeing titles that are going to push people towards, hey, instead of again, especially if they raise the prices from 60 to 70, people are going to jump on that Game Pass real quick. Then that's going to boost the Game Pass numbers, making it more profitable. And then eventually they're going to raise the price of that too, because that's just how subscription services go. So it's, I don't know what people want. I understand they want everything to stay the same no matter what. Like $15 forever. It's not going to happen. I also don't think it's going to be an egregious price hike, because I've seen people, well, they tried to double the price of gold. And you know what? They heard how bad idea that was and immediately retracted it.
Yeah.
So, Ethan, any closing comments on the plethora of things Phil has said?
No, it was just cool. I love it. Anytime big industry leaders sit down with journalists and just spew their guts about what they want to see for the future of their company and gaming. It's always fun to pick apart all these different statements. So happy it happened.
Wow, guys. 51 minutes in the show. We can now move on to it's story number 5. It's not story number 2 in the document. And my voice is trying to hold out here. So
keep chugging.
Keep chugging. So story number 5. Microsoft wants its own Genshin Impact for Xbox. This comes from Jordan Midler over at Video Game Chronicle, who reports that, according to Reuters, Microsoft is, quote, accelerating plans to find an equivalent title to the action role-playing game, which has seen over $4 billion of revenue in just 2 years. For those unfamiliar, Genshin Impact is a free-to-play anime-style open-world RPG that is monetized through gacha mechanics where players pay for chances to earn characters and items. Video Game Chronicle writes, quote, Reuters claims that sources indicate to them Microsoft is scouting the Chinese market for new developers to bring into the fold. The company is also allegedly wooing even independent studios with big money offers. Reportedly, Microsoft regrets missing out on Genshin Impact after having briefly spoken to MiHoYo when Genshin Impact was being developed.
Ethan, I mean,
the waifus, we need them.
I mean, is there any question as to why Microsoft would want a Genshin Impact? $4 billion for this little gacha game. Like, I cannot imagine it takes a ton of resources to develop Genshin Impact. And that's not to crap on the game or anything. I'm just saying objectively, you look at a game like that, that should not be a $4 billion juggernaut, right? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So I think everybody wants a Genshin Impact in their arsenal, just like everybody wants a Fortnite in their arsenal. And everybody's been trying to chase that battle royale to try and make the next Fortnite or Call of Duty Warzone to just generate ridiculous amounts of money. It would be cool to have something on this. I've always been interested in Genshin Impact, but I'm like one of those players, if you offer me skins or cosmetics, I am never going to interact with it. And so at that point, like, I don't understand what the point of Genshin is, because it's just doing what, like daily tasks and missions. So
so Genshin has
I need to know what's going on here.
my brother in the chat can correct me, but
he goes great.
He loves Genshin Impact. It's like his go-to game. He's contributed to that 4 billion, let me tell you. But Genshin Impact has a full-fledged story. You can play it completely free to play. You don't have to engage in the gacha mechanics. You might take you longer to get through some things. But there isn't like, oh, the story is locked behind a paywall, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ghostly March Genshin has a story that's updated every 5 to 6 weeks too.
Yeah, they pump out content. If you want to see how a live service game should do it, that is how you do it right there.
And it just, I don't know. I'm just not in that mindset of buying skins, so I don't understand people's mindsets, why they buy the skins when they can just play the game like normal.
They buy the characters.
Do the characters have different powers or abilities?
Yeah, they're like different elementals, different move sets. It is so not only is it's different characters, and then you have to buy different like rated weapons. Like,
so jumping into this game, you're probably gonna at least buy a couple different characters and a couple guns here and there, or weapons or whatever, just to find the one you want. Okay, but I mean, still, it would be good for them to have it because I mean, it's generating revenue that can go back into other game development. That's always a good thing. So I don't think this is a surprise to anybody that they want a Genshin Impact like game.
I'm more surprised that they were talking to MiHoYo reportedly and could have had this game on Xbox from the start. Yeah, I would feel bad about missing out on it too because well, I fell off of it pretty quickly because it isn't my style of game. It is very
Right.
much Breath of the Wild inspired. You could see
Mm.
that where it's big open world, lots of things to do all over
Yeah,
the map. Um, I can see I think the art style is beautiful. I think MiHoYo makes amazing character designs. Like a lot of their games, whenever I see the trailers, I'm like, I wish this was just a
they look cool.
standalone. I
Yeah.
wish it was just a standalone $70 game that I could put 20 hours into and never play again. Like I wish that's what they
Yeah.
made because I do truly think they make some beautiful looking stuff. But I mean, it's just I understand. Like I said, money. They want money, and Genshin
Money.
brings in money. Ghostly March. MiHoYo had an offer to be bought by Tencent before Genshin came out, and they said no, which
Thank God we don't need
looks
10 cent any more powerful.
goofy. Oh my god, can you
They
imagine
already are.
Tencent getting 4 billion in revenue for probably more than that? Knowing their the monetization would be even more egregious.
Yeah, it would be rough. It would. I don't think it would be as popular as it is today.
Yeah, I think this just goes to show we see it with PlayStation 2, right? Where they said they want like 10 live service games in the next 6
Yeah.
years. Xbox and Phil even just said in the interview we were talking about how free to play model is clearly the most popular one in the industry right now, as opposed to subscription services.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to see a lot more of these games from
Yeah.
both sides in the next few years.
I just really hope that, like I said before, it doesn't detract from development and other games that are actual video games. You know what I and I have a feeling that both Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer are still dedicated to making those incredible video game experiences for console. But they're not going to be around forever. There's going to be a new person that steps in, and sometimes that person may just care about the dollar signs. I don't want these gaming systems to become a junk pile of these damn live service games and these gotcha games. That's probably the scary future of all of this. So hopefully that's not the case. I don't think it will be, but I just
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we can move on to something that is coming to Xbox. And you know what? This should be story number 6. Ignore that.
Number 6.
Story number 6, Age of Empires is coming to Xbox. Officially announced on Tuesday, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is coming to Xbox consoles January 31st, 2023, and Age of Empires 4 is coming later in 2023. We are also getting the revival of Age of Mythology with Age of Mythology Retold. Ethan, these
Yeah.
are RTS games. Do you care?
No. Should I know what Age of Mythology is?
No, I didn't know
Okay.
what it was until I
All
Googled
right.
it.
I do know what Age of Empires is, though, and I do know that it's probably one of the best made and most popular RTS games out there right now. People love Age of Empires, especially what did it say? Age of Empires 2 and 4 are coming. Age of Empires 2 is probably like universe from what I know, because I have people in my family that play a lot. Like that's their main is Age of Empires 2. And they play Age of Empires 3, they go back to 2. They play 4, they go back to 2. So it's good to see that they're bringing this to console, obviously, expand the market. We want to have more people playing these games. But you got to think RTS game, Xbox controller, probably objectively just going to be the inferior way to play this game. But not everyone can afford a big, giant PC rig and spend thousands of dollars on graphics cards from the black market. You know what I'm saying, Kevin? It's good to see. I love it. Sorry, my wife came in the door. I had to mute myself for a second. But Age of Empires, I hope that they put a sort of lock on cross platform play, so that Xbox players don't have to play with PC. Because, like I said, objectively, it's easier for PC players to play games like this. So if there is any matchmaking mechanic, I don't even know. I haven't played these games.
It will
I hope
support
that they put
keyboard
a
and
lock on it.
mouse. It will support keyboard
Yeah,
and
but
mouse.
who's hooking up their keyboard and mouse to their Xbox? I keep hearing that. I've never in my life seen anybody do that. You can plug it in with a USB cable. Who's doing that?
This is cool for people that are excited for Age of Empires. I am not one of those people. I've never played Age of Empires. Age of Mythology came out in 2002, by the way. You want to know what I was doing in 2002? I was playing my GameCube. I wasn't playing on PC like a dork.
I was in kindergarten.
Wow.
Probably not playing video games because I was in kindergarten. I was playing
I was playing
blocks. I think I had my N64 at that point, but I don't think I was like playing a game. I was more just looking at a screen, moving buttons and stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. I know people have wanted this for a very long time, so it'll be sweet to see that. And I mean, I'm more than open to more RTSs coming to consoles as long as the ports are done well. Like Halo Wars, I believe, is really well done. Diofield Chronicle, I know it wasn't as like a full-fledged RTS. It had those elements. I think that one's really well done. So certainly room in the space for more of these games to come over. We can move on to story number 7. Jeez. Fallout 4 is getting a next-gen upgrade. To celebrate Fallout's 25th anniversary, Bethesda has confirmed that Fallout 4 will get a free next-gen upgrade for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC in 2023. This will introduce higher frame rates, 4K modes, bug fixes, and bonus Creation Club content.
Cool.
Get hyped?
Cool. I'm not going back to Fallout 4 to play in 4K. If I'm playing Fallout 4, it's going to be on PC. I don't really play a lot of Bethesda games on console. I will be playing Starfield on console though. But cool.
I don't like Fallout.
That's so wild to me.
It's so. I think Elder Scrolls is objectively the better series.
I like Elder Scrolls more than Fallout. Yeah, I agree with you on that, but Fallout's not bad.
I just nothing about Fallout interests me. The world doesn't interest me. Okay. The gameplay definitely doesn't interest me. That's where you lose me, if anything. Like I could look past the actual world and like try to find some enjoyment there. As soon as I start trying to play the game, especially combat wise, I'm like, I cannot play this game.
Yeah, the VAT system is pretty unique. The first person shooting elements of it, it's like objectively, it's just not the best first person shooter in the world. You got to use VATs to make it more fun. But yeah, I get it.
I think it's cool. I'm glad people are going to experience it. I mean, we got Starfield coming out next year. Who's going to be like, I'm going to put Starfield down and go play Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Just weird to me, but cool. Again, for those that are excited. And finally, The Witcher is getting a remake. I don't know why that tab is so big. That is huge. Why is this a banner? Why is this? Oh my God. I broke StreamYard.
Because it's a big deal, Kevin.
All right. It's not going to scroll. It's just going to sit there. The Witcher is getting a remake. Announced on the official Twitter account, CDPR has revealed that codenamed Canis Majoris, which we discussed a few episodes ago, is in fact a remake to the very first Witcher game, and it will be remade using Unreal Engine 5 along with Fool's Theory helping in development. Thoughts, Ethan?
Happy. Really happy. I think we talked when we did talk about this. I remember saying like I guarantee one of these is going to be a remake of one, and yeah, it makes perfect sense. This is the only Witcher I haven't played. I played a little bit of Witcher 2, and I played Witcher 3 extensively. I think that's probably what most people would say as well. The only reason I played a little bit of Witcher 2 is because I loved Witcher 3 so much, and I was like, oh, let's try Witcher 2. But it was just kind of like old and clunky and not exactly the same experience. So it turned me off. But to have Witcher 1 and to be able to experience it in Unreal Engine 5, really, really excited about that. I'm really excited to see what they can do. And I would love to actually experience that story firsthand. So I'm looking forward to this for sure.
I tried The Witcher 2 on PC. I got on a Steam sale one time.
Same.
Didn't click with me. Witcher 3, I think, is incredibly boring. I understand everyone loves it, and it's like one of the best games ever, according to individuals that have
you have some hot takes, Kevin, but calling Witcher 3 boring, that's rough.
CD Projekt Red doesn't make games I enjoy. I'm sorry. I love RPGs. Just something about CDPR games do not click with me. I don't get it. Like,
Well, they don't have many games. It's like
I
Witcher
know,
3, then
but
Cyberpunk.
I
Really,
wanna know what, like, well, they have the other Witcher games too, but like
well, the
it-
old
it-
ones, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it is really though. Like, why I love other, like, I like Western RPGs. I prefer JRPGs, but I do like Western RPGs. Bethesda makes
I don't know. You don't like
stuff I
Fallout, don't like Witcher, don't like Red
I
Dead
like
Redemption.
Elder Scrolls. I like Fable.
All right.
I'm sure there's some other ones in there that are slipping my mind, but
Yeah.
those are ones I do enjoy, and I like high fantasy. I
Mhm.
like those worlds. So I don't know what it is, but it's just something about their games don't click
Yeah.
with me. I would love if the remake was the one that was like, oh, I get it now. I
Mhm.
don't expect it to
Probably not.
be,
Yeah.
but again, I'm happy for those that are excited. As I said, the last 3 stories, great. I am very.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but everyone else, they got 6 other things in development. Apparently,
You're gonna
if
get
this,
plenty of stuff from CD
yeah,
Projekt right
if this makes you happy, great. That's all gaming is about. I'll be over here playing my 67
playing
rated
Monarch.
Gotham Knights and Monarch.
Love it. I think it's lower than 67 Gotham Knights, isn't it? They
I
got like
don't
a
know. Is
4 out of
it
10 from GameSpot or something ridiculous.
Gotham Knights?
Tamor Hussein just trashed it. It was funny watching that review.
It's at a 69 on Metacritic.
Oh, that's actually higher than I thought.
User score is 4.7, so I'm very against the grain here.
Wait, so if anything, users don't like it more than
It's
reviewers.
64 on Xbox.
Oh yeah. I don't trust Xbox reviews, Kevin. I really don't. It's trash. It's the Wild West there. Like I looked at the reviews for new Tales of the Borderlands, and the review score is really low, and I was like, huh, why is that? And I clicked on it, and it was all like 1-star woke trash, like all that stuff. So I don't trust Xbox anymore for
But
reviews.
is it in fact woke trash?
No, it's fine. There's some funny crap about it. You know, there's some woke stuff in it. It's funny. It fits the narrative and it fits the comedy. So I'm here for it.
Oh my god,
Whatever.
bro! There was I don't know if I can find it real quick. There was a hilarious Gotham Knights Xbox store review.
Uh-oh.
It was so good. I wanna scroll and see if I can find it really quickly. Oh, it's right here. So
Yeah, share this.
this person, I'll share my screen, I guess. How do I do this? Share screen. Huh. I'll put it over there. Okay.
Yeah.
It says, so you saw the IGN review, question mark. First, the game is bussin'. Oh
Bussin'.
God. Second, ignore the low ratings. They cap. Those critics need to skirt.
What?
Anyways, game has giving beyond a great experience, and man, Batgirl got cakes. The view on that city. Perfect detailed city. LOL. For real, for real.
Mr. Harley Quinn. Or Miss Harley Quinn. Give that person a job at IGN, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want my reviewers to talk like.
Do we need
Sam Heaney? Start writing like that. See if IGN approves. See what your editor says about it.
Do we need technical perfection? No. As long as we got Batgirl's cakes. All right.
You need some sort of technical aspect. It can't be a dumpster fire, Kevin.
Speaking
Can't
of
hold
dumpsters,
30
you know what I'm
FPS.
saying? All right. I think it's time to end the show before we get canceled. Ethan, where can people find you?
In Discord. I deleted my Twitter. Don't
Yeah,
at
and
me.
that's why you don't win giveaways.
Yeah, I never won them before, Kevin. What makes you think I'm going to win them now?
Were you entering them before?
Yes, all the time. Hard Space Shipbreaker broke my heart, Kevin.
Mm.
I didn't win that Series X. I was really mad.
Focus is giving away a Plague Tale Requiem Xbox
I know.
Series
I
X.
entered the Focus one because Hard Space Shipbreaker was published by Focus Entertainment, and they didn't win. So I
wanted
this
so
one again.
bad. I wanted so bad.
It looks really cool, Kevin. If you win that, I'm going to be very happy for you. But at the same time, I'm going to be pissed because that'll be the fourth thing you won in like the last month.
Gotta be in it to win it. But you
Yeah.
can find me at the Muffin Mon, and I don't know why the Witcher thing's still up. You can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1-7I and an 0-7A. Follow us at Save Game Media. Stay up to date with all the latest. And we just passed $2,000 raised for Extra Life. So thank
No shit. Hell
everyone for
yeah.
donating. This is just the beginning. Like I said, more prizes to come. So please go donate. The link is in the description down below. Until next week, we will see you. Goodbye.